Well, hello, Matt.
All right, I'm going to do the intro. You ready?
Actually, the intro. Hey, are you still mad?
Are you still mad? All right. Welcome to Mad About Disney, where we are all mad here today. We are covering the interactive Walt Disney World YouTube channels posted 1993 Walt Disney World Vacation Planning video. I'm Skipper Melody. This is Skipper Dad, and we're just gonna get into it.
That's right.
All right, so, Dad, is this the first time that you have watched this video?
I doubt it.
You probably watched it before. Did you remember anything about it?
Yes, a few things that brought back memories was especially the Haunted Mansion video clip of the drummer.
The
And I think
drummer.
the skeleton coming out of the coffin.
Oh,
One
yeah,
had a
yeah, yeah.
skeleton coming out of a coffin or a drummer.
Right.
Not what is posted on the video. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But I
It,
will say,
oh,
93, 94, 95, 96, 97, all kind of like blur together anyway. So,
yeah. What I will say, we're gonna cover this. We're gonna talk about the video. So if you want to go watch it, again, it was posted by Interactive WDW. I will have a link in the episode description for you to go watch, or you can just listen to us talk about it. What I would like to ask first, because I was not alive in 1993. I was not even a thought, most likely. So Dad, what were you doing in 1993? What was your life in 1993? What did you enjoy? What were you hearing about? What were you doing?
1993 for me was definitely life changing due to some physical health things that needed to be corrected that year. So I was beginning of 93, I was 20 years old. That year I turned 21, but was undergoing a lot of things medical that were taken care of that year. So yes, 93 was definitely a challenging year for me. So was able to live with my grandparents for, I think, 5 months because of the medical procedure that I went through. But anyways, that was definitely a life-changing year for me. And but that's what was going on in 1993. Basically started in January, and by the end of the year, I was okay and ready to move forward. So
Well, good, good.
I also finished school that year too. So the end of 2023, I finished school. So really happy about that.
Of 2023,
Yes.
1993.
Sorry, in 1993, it all blurs, right?
It's fine, it's
In
fine.
1993, in January was the medical procedure. By the end of 1993, I had finished school because then in January 2024, I got my first real job.
1994.
1994, I got my first real job. Yes, yes, we are mad here.
Dad, I got done with school at the end of 2023. That was mine.
Again, I've been around for a while. It's all just a blur now anyway. So
That's okay. Well, let me tell you what was going on with Disney in 1993. Michael Eisner was the CEO of Disney. If anyone knows about the Disney company, the CEOs are a lot of fun to look at. Michael Eisner was crazy. He was the creative CEO. He put forth a lot of ideas that a lot of people at the time were like, this is crazy. What are you doing? This is horrible. This isn't Disney. And then, like, 10 years later, people were like, wait a minute. He had some good ideas and we kind of want them back. But now we have Bob Iger. We had Bob Chapstick for a minute, but Michael Eisner did some really amazing things. The movies that were coming out between 1990 and 1993, we had Newsies, Hocus Pocus, Nightmare Before Christmas, Pretty Woman, The Rescuers Down Under, The Rocketeer, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Muppet Christmas Carol. So we're getting some classic Disney films. All of these movies were created through Disney. The Disney parks, what was happening around this time? Hollywood Studios, then known as MGM, had opened May 1st of 1989, and just a year before 1993, in 1992, Euro Disneyland, or Disneyland Paris, had officially opened. So that is where the Walt Disney Company is at, kind of at this time. I believe you would call it their Renaissance era. They just got out of the Dark Ages and now they are in their Renaissance. So, the Disney parks, obviously, with Hollywood Studios and Euro Disneyland having opened, there's a lot of movement in them. They want people to be coming. They want people to know what their options are. So they make a Walt Disney World vacation planning video. And listeners, I love my dad. I do. But when I tell you how much hatred ran through my body when this video started and it said Walt Disney World and Delta Airlines welcomes you to the Walt Disney World Vacation Planner. Delta Airlines! Hey Dad, your favorite airline company is the first one that's going to sponsor this? Are you serious?
Well, I was trying to bring you into the corporate world.
Yeah.
What I was trying to raise you on was magic and imagination and, excitement for things. I really didn't want you to have to worry about the corporate world and how, in the back of the magic, the facades they put up around Disney, right? They don't want you to see what's going on behind the wall, right? Because you'll lose the magic. You want to stay focused on just what you want the customer to see, the magic. So behind the wall is, yes, Disney, Delta, other companies at the time have to work together to meet who's paying for what. Hey, if we want to make a video, who's going to sponsor it? Yeah, all of that. But that's the behind the scenes. That all kind of takes away from the magic. So I'll try to stay out of that lane.
Sure, except that anytime we talk about traveling, and to this day, whenever we talk about taking a flight, it has to be Delta Airlines. There's no Southwest. There's no American Airlines. It has to be Delta every single time because that is the company that you want to fly with. And I think that this obsession started in 1993 when they sponsored the Walt Disney World Vacation Planner. Even though you may have never watched it before, I think this is where it comes from, and I really don't like you for this.
Sweet. Let's go with that.
Perfect. Okay. So this video does open, and like I said, it does Walt Disney World and Delta Airlines welcomes you to the Walt Disney World Vacation Planner, and invite you to be our guest. And then it does a parody of Be Our Guest.
Yes.
That I think is beautiful, chaotic, and just really funny. Honestly, I was laughing out loud during the introduction sequence.
Yeah, based on what you know now with the other opening songs of other things, our favorite, of course, based on another film. Right, to hear the old one on this video is just kind of, it just is kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot about that song, right? And then it already lures you in because you're kind of like listening, oh, Beauty and the Beast. Oh yeah, I remember that show. I've watched that show, 100 times at the park. So yeah, but automatically, right? It just starts to draw you in pretty quick.
Right. And of course, that Be Our Guest, having Beauty and the Beast just basically come out, and it won a few different awards, I believe. So it became one of Disney's flagship films, especially for the 90s. So to have Be Our Guest in the beginning, it does make sense. I have some lines through the montage written down that we'll go over because I thought they were genius. But also, like, the castle is normal. The castle is the classic white and blue. Love that castle. I was happy to see it. And then there's a giant Mickey head hot air balloon
Yeah,
flying what looks to be feet from the castle.
yeah. No airspace violations there.
Nope, no, not at all. And now at Disney Springs, we have our Peter Pan hot air balloon that's like tied down. It's not going anywhere. And that one, the Mickey head is just free floating over the
Yep,
Magic
just a
Kingdom.
hot air balloon. Yep.
So we get Mickey and Minnie in front of the castle in their iconic outfits. Um, Goofy is out here meeting kids. You also get to see Baloo, which is not a popular character anymore that you get to see.
Right.
We were lucky enough to see him at Hollywood Studios one day when we were there, but you get to see this is all through a montage of the Beauty and the Beast parody playing over it. So keep that in mind as I go through this. MGM Studios with Mickey, Goofy, Chip, and Dale giving hugs to different people. There's hotels, hats, Mickey welcoming people into his house because, of course, Magic Kingdom used to have Mickey's house that you could go through. Now that's only in the US over at Disneyland in Toontown. Magic Kingdom, unfortunately, does not have those houses anymore. It shows the Beauty and the Beast show. It shows Epcot for a minute. It shows what was the second what did I write in my notes? I don't even know. Oh, it so it like has this break in between the song where it like stops for a minute and like focuses on cast members and people talking. Um,
Right.
and in that, you get a family that says, like, they're at the hotel, I think it's the Grand Floridian,
Yep.
and they're like, this is our second week here from England. They've flown all the way from England to be here at the Grand Floridian. The cast members are so nice. They show the electronic parade, which is coming back this summer. But of course, I said electronic. It's electrical parade? Yeah, right?
Exactly what the name was back in 1993, I don't know, but as you know, for the rest of us, right? Just say Disney's Electrical Parade, and everybody
Electrical
will
parade.
understand it.
Right. Um, yeah, which has been away for a little bit, but will be coming back this summer. Um, and then they show, I have never seen that. There are a few things in this video from 1993 that I'm like, this has never been a thing in my lifetime, and I want it back.
Right.
So there's a Chinese dragon puppet in the Epcot Pavilion that like you can go meet, or that's like with the guests. And I'm like, that would be so freaking cool to see, like walking around, like have a little parade in the China Pavilion at Epcot, like please, with the
Well, I think that's part of, the countries will, certain times of the year, right, will bring out, during Christmas, right, they'll bring out their character for Christmas. He'll do a couple of events throughout the day, right? And so I think back then they were all trying to promote their country. So yeah, the dragon would come out probably, periodically through the day, just do the routine little show, right, and then go back in. So I'm not sure the last time that they did that, but I would expect that they do have all of those costumes still somewhere backstage, right? And yeah. So
I mean,
that's what they probably did back then.
yeah, it's got to be somewhere in the vault. We just
Yep.
gotta find it. Got to go to the Disney archives,
Right.
find that puppet. So then we were back into the song, right? Splash Mountain, they do a really big deal of showing Splash Mountain. The line when they're showing Splash Mountain is Magic Kingdom so exciting, there's no world that's more inviting.
Right.
You know, I think I didn't look it up, but there was a point, and I think it was Michael Eisner who was doing it, where they were trying to make Magic Kingdom seem more exciting because I want to check the timing before I say it. Right, so 1990, 3 years before Universal Studios has opened in Orlando, Florida. So when that opened, it opened with some, roller coasters. So a lot of teenagers are going over there. So they're trying to make Magic Kingdom seem more exciting and more thrilling. And Splash Mountain was a big part of that, of being like, hey, focus on these mountains that we have at Disney. That's gonna draw people in, hopefully. So I think there was some marketing there with that. They show Star Tours with the original video that was filmed for Star Tours. So Star Tours went under a renovation with the prequels coming out in the late 90s, early 2000s. That gets you basically the Star Tours that you have today. But the original Star Tours visuals was made with like little setups, and Lucasfilm like filmed it going through the trench and like the trench of the Death Star, and you went on its own journey, and it was the original Star Tours visuals in there, which I thought was so cool.
And that's when the AT-AT out front actually worked.
Right. Back when the AT-AT worked. I mean, it's working again now, but only recently.
Right.
So another line, they say share a drink with those you love, we would suggest. So, the Epcot drinking challenge, I don't know if it was
Not around yet.
started back then,
Yeah.
but they're already saying it. So
And we'll touch on that.
right,
That's one of the things that did really surprise me in that 1993 video. They did if everybody understands Epcot at the England Pavilion, the pub there, as you try to walk in nowadays, it's practically impossible unless you're the first one in the park, maybe.
right,
But they actually show on the video seating, a waitress walking around to the table,
right.
providing a menu. Today, that ain't gonna happen.
No.
Nope, you are in line and good luck.
There's
Right?
also a trolley that like drives around the UK pavilion. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, when did that right, and again, you go today and you're like, where would they drive this thing, right? It takes me exactly 45 seconds to walk from one end of it to the other, and you're putting a trolley through there.
Right. I don't know.
That's called movie magic.
Right.
Magic for the video.
That's what we call Michael Eisner in the 90s.
Right.
Let's put a trolley through there. Why not? Let's see. So they show the water parks. They show a parade float with Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Great. You don't see Roger Rabbit anymore, and the prominence that he has in this
Yep.
1993 video is absolutely amazing and well earned. The montage ends. Okay, like you get your introduction, you get your right in your face, like this is everything we have to offer, and then they're gonna go and they're gonna talk about, okay, this is what we actually have. This is the overview of everything, and then we'll get into the specifics. So at this time, they have Epcot, they have the Disney Studios. So it's already gone through one name change. Hollywood Studios is notorious for the name being changed so many times. So it opened as MGM. In this video, it's referred to as the Disney Studios. It goes back to MGM at one point. And then I think they had a voting thing when they changed it to the Hollywood Studios. Do I remember that correctly?
I believe so, because this is the only park that has gone through multiple name changes to get it right, right? Again, what's going on behind the facade, a lot of those decisions are taking place, right? And so, yes, I believe that's one of the steps that they take is they voted.
I seriously think they voted on it, which of course now, like, I think it should go through another name change now, but
Exactly.
just, with everything that's changed in Hollywood Studios, but that's a conversation for another day.
Right.
So yeah, Epcot, the Disney Studios, and Magic Kingdom, of course. They describe the Magic Kingdom of being the land after land of fantasy and fun, which I think, good description on that. The Disney Studios, the most popular movie and television studios in the world. Of course, competing with, again, Universal Orlando, having opened their park and having their own sound stages and studios there. And then you have Epcot Center, a vast showplace of the future and a worldly community of the present. Which, that, again, all good descriptions, no notes on those. They say 2 more water parks. They have Typhoon Lagoon and River Country. So Blizzard Beach, not a thing. We've got River Country right now.
Yep. And I did spend a time at River Country.
And how was that for you, Dad? How was River Country?
Back in the day, for what it was, it's pretty awesome.
Now, River Country ended up permanently closing in 2005. So we've got River Country for a little bit.
Yep.
In this video, they don't cover River Country that much. You get a spot on Typhoon Lagoon, but you don't really get anything about River Country. You also get to hear about this place called Discovery Island, a tropical retreat for rare and endangered species where they do show an alligator. This is Florida. We have our alligators. Dad, did you get to go to Discovery Island ever?
I did not. So this goes back to, we were far away. So for us, it was, we're coming in, we're trying to see as much of the parks as possible, before we have to go home. So yeah, some of those things like water parks, Discovery Island, yeah, those didn't make the list because we were not there that long.
Right. Discovery Island, definitely, I was like, I think I knew that it was a thing, but I do not know a lot about it.
Right.
I don't really, compared to everything else that Disney has to offer to do, I don't know how many people were going to Discovery Island, but if anyone has any fun stories from there, be glad to hear them. So then,
but remember, right? This is all growing. This
right.
is all, Animal Kingdom, right? If you think about Discovery Island, what it was, right? Maybe that had been a stepping stone to ultimately, what we have nowadays as Animal Kingdom, right?
Right.
So every little piece back that they had in 1993 or around that time, eventually, it's coming or going.
Right. It's either going to leave or it's going to evolve into something else. So,
yeah.
Speaking of evolving, they talk about Pleasure Island, an entire island of nightclubs.
Right.
which this is the predecessor of Downtown Disney and what is now Disney Springs.
Correct.
This thing gets its own highlight later, which I definitely want to get more into. But it just looks like an absolute rager, and I wish I could have gone. So they say that they have resorts from the South Seas to the southeastern seaboard that caters to budget tastes that range from economical to the regal. And they have a few different hotels that they go over, which again we'll cover later. They show Pinocchio and Pluto water skiing when you used to be able to go into the water. They show the beaches at the different resorts going straight into the water. There are no fences here. There are no rocky shores to deter you from going into the water. You know, they may have signs talking about the alligators and snakes, but we don't see them.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, again, river country, right? Part of that was part of the lake. Now that was fenced off. I believe it was roped off, fenced off underwater, right? So if there was a problem back then, I don't think it was advertised, an issue that it has become, over the years up to today.
Right. They do a big part about this video, which I think they learned from and solved by the time that we were watching, was they put a big emphasis on we have told you that we think Walt Disney World is great. Now we're going to have the guests tell you that Walt Disney World was great. So
Yep.
This video is filled with guest interviews that some I think are good, some I think are really funny, and I think that they filmed them and said, well, we're going to have to use it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, right? Some of it's kind of like it seems authentic. Some of it seems little staged, a little right. Pick one of these lines and say this for us,
yeah,
But I think we've had that the whole time. So,
right.
but yeah, some of the guests, because you put people on camera, right? They're not going to come out and be, oh yeah, this perfect response to everything. They just kind of, yeah, give it their quick response. And yeah, some of them are pretty funny.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And then like transitioning from the interview to the narrator talking again,
Yep.
like some of those transitions are pretty hilarious. So yeah, it's pretty good. So the Magic Kingdom. Mickey is waving from the top turret of Cinderella's castle to welcome us into the Kingdom of Magic.
Magic. Wow, I thought I did bad earlier. How about the Magic Kingdom?
Nah, the Kingdom of Magic. No, definitely the Magic Kingdom. That's the place we're going. There's a guest that says, I like the magic in Disney World. Anything is possible. And isn't that true?
Yep.
They talk about the mayor of the kingdom being a mouse. Main Street USA is hometown America at the turn of the century. We do get a shot of the Dapper Dans there, which we love the Dapper Dans.
But not called the Dapper Dans. It was called the Barber Quartet.
Right, the Barbershop Quartet, yes.
Yep.
So we'll have to keep an eye out on if the DVDs ever call them by their proper name.
Right.
Yes. So they go into Adventureland, where we see that the guns on the Jungle Cruise are still being used at this time. That's something that we don't really see anymore, but we do get a guest interview where they say, we really like the Jungle Cruise. That's real nice. It's very realistic, exciting, and there's a lot of things you don't expect that pop up out of the water.
Right.
So that's your glowing review from a guest in 1993 about the Jungle Cruise.
Yep.
Then we go to another interview. I think this one is from the old woman in the family. Looks like the grandma of the family goes, one of my very favorites is Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's always a must for us.
I mean, seriously, okay. Let's go to the wisest people right there sitting, uh, providing comments about Pirates of the Caribbean. Again, not kids, not young parents, but to the wisest people, right? And what do they say? It's all about Pirates of the Caribbean for me. I mean, again, we've already stated this once. Bring the show back to the fireworks. Sorry.
Yes, and this is pre-2003. So this is before Pirates of the Caribbean, this is before Johnny Depp, this is before Elizabeth Swann, this is before all of it. So this is just Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride itself standing on its own merits.
Yep.
And it's a beloved attraction. There's a reason they turned it into a movie. You get to see it inside, which is so interesting because they have the pre-Barbossa animatronic on the ship
Yep.
when you go into the ride. So this is before, get to work, you bleeding cockroaches, fire at will. Like this is before Jeffrey Rush's recordings are brought in, and they kind of redress the animatronic.
And it's at the time where it's the original.
Right, exactly. It's the original ride. What I found interesting was it looked like the entrance was on the side where the clock tower is.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you look at it, like the name for Pirates of the Caribbean is atop the side of the building,
Yep.
which now it's like,
Well, it doesn't even say Pirates of the Caribbean anymore.
right, it doesn't. It says it on like a flag outside the ride.
Yeah, but not. I don't even. So if you look at it today and you walk again, if you have time, if you can walk around it, you can actually see remnants of the old original entrance. You don't see the Pirates of the Caribbean sign, which I think would be really neat to add it to it because Jungle Cruise has their sign. So I think Pirates of the Caribbean would have their sign, but but now you look at it and how big Pirates has become. You don't need a sign. You don't need to say, "Hey." I mean, you just look. You're coming up to it. There's the mast, Pirates looking out, right, and the big Jolly Roger flag there. I mean, there's no other ride like it, so it's going to
Yeah.
stand on its own. You don't need to have a name saying what it is.
Right. And right now, like, or at least I say right now, in that video in 1993, they don't have the mask. They don't
I
have
know.
the flag. They don't have the skeleton looking out a telescope. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have any of that. So, it'll be interesting to see. I'm pretty sure that all just comes after 2003.
Correct. So it's already big, right? And now it's coming into the future that it's going to blow up even bigger.
Right, right. So it's really cool to see it before it just blows up out of the water, like so cool. But it's still a loved attraction. People love it. Frontierland. There again, big focus on Splash Mountain. The biggest, wettest, steepest of them all, singing the songs of the South.
Yes.
Back in the day. So listen, a guest said one of my favorite lines from this video, which was the drop was so fast and so furious.
Yeah. I noticed that line too.
I was like, Ludacris, where is he? Where are you right now? Ahead of its time. Ahead of its time.
Right, right.
I actually don't know when So Fast and So Furious came out, but I'm going to say it was ahead of its time.
But right now, if you thought about it, that could be IP infringement.
It could. It really could.
So just remember, this is a 1993 video.
Yes. The next focus was on Big Thunder Mountain with Roger Rabbit on the ride. And
I
then,
liked him right in the middle. Now, tell me this.
yeah.
Have you ever been on Big Thunder Mountain, sat in the middle, and were able to stay located in the middle without holding on for dear life on both sides of that car?
No!
Because of the G's you go through, he had to have been strapped in, locked in, because those kids would have been crushed.
Right. Was he in the middle of two kids, or was he in his own car?
Middle of two kids.
Okay. Have you ever ridden Big Thunder Mountain with 3 people in one car?
No.
Right. I'm like, so number one, not only are those kids being crushed, but also you're not sitting 3 people to a car. You're not doing it. Like, yeah, I hope those kids are okay. I hope their physical therapy bill is being paid for.
Right.
Yeah, and then they go to the Country Bear Jamboree, where I'm pretty sure it's a British person, says that it has country music and is a real hoedown.
Yeah, no kidding. And again, the original show.
Over to Liberty Square, you get the Hall of Presidents with Abraham Lincoln. And then you get the Haunted Mansion with literally me being interviewed. It's me. The girl is with her 2 friends. And she is the one talking. And she's like, listen, you go into this big room and the room really grows. And you don't know if the room's getting bigger or if you're shrinking, which I've never felt like I'm shrinking, but I'm glad that she's on the Alice in Wonderland train of like, she's the person shrinking inside.
Right.
And then she said, and if you look on the ceiling, it looks like there's a dead body hanging, but you really can't tell. My friends didn't see it, but I saw it. I'm like,
well, during that show in the room, right, a lot of people don't know that they have to look up.
yeah, yeah.
Unless you knew, right? You're in the dark, so you really don't know what's going on. And at the last minute, that turns up or turns on over your head. If you probably wouldn't notice it unless somebody told you, oh, by the way, hey, make sure you look up.
Right. I'm sure there's a lot of people that maybe don't look up. I don't know. It's hard for me to conceptualize because I've always looked up. But yes, don't gaslight your friends by telling them that you didn't see a hanging body.
Right.
In the stretching room. You did see that. Disney did do that. And it's still there. So, you know, that girl was right. Her friends did not know to look up, and she did it right. So, girl raving about the Haunted Mansion, you are me. I felt seen in that moment, and just know that you are seen as well.
Seen back in 1993.
Right.
Okay, got it.
They go to Fantasyland where Fairy Tale.
Whoa. This is where I want to point out the fact that 2 images during the Haunted Mansion, a skeleton coming out of a casket, and then the skeleton drummer. So I did notice those 2 things that are not there anymore. But all right, go ahead.
The skeleton coming out of the casket
not the casket that's just sitting there and somebody's trying to get out. That's in the video. But then the next part is a skeleton actually sitting up.
Oh, yeah, there is a skeleton coming out of a little coffin there. Where is that?
It's no longer there.
Yeah, that is not in our Haunted Mansion. And then the drummer, that thing looks terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That looks like something that's supposed to be in Euro Disneyland. That doesn't.
Well, and they may have, again, some of this stuff that they've made changes over the years has probably made it into other things.
Sure, sure.
Possibly.
That's cool. Good job, Dad. Good job.
Well,
Yeah, you're right. Those are not there anymore. I wonder if that's where the zombie sequence gets its inspiration from in the 2003 Haunted Mansion.
I don't know. Pretty interesting, though.
Yeah, because those skeletons looked like a bit more like what you see in there.
Mhm.
Huh. Very interesting.
But it is interesting that the three hitchhiking ghosts are still there from, again, from 1993. So that's really cool that
Oh,
they have stood the test of time.
yeah, of course. I think something important is the original Disneyland in California, their hitchhiking ghosts that you see in the Doom buggy with you are actual animatronics that are behind that wall.
Right.
The Haunted Mansion in Disney World, it's a bit different.
Yep.
So we still have the animatronics, but then it goes to like a digital version
Right.
now,
Yep.
which may have already been updated in the 90s. Also, I don't think Constance Hatchaway was there in 1993. So I don't think she wasn't in that
I
video.
I don't remember that, so I couldn't tell you. Maybe somebody can reminisce and go back to 1993 and tell us it. Again, it's gotten through a lot of updates, so I'm pretty sure, just like those two things are not there anymore. Things were coming and going.
Yeah, Constance was put in 2006, replacing the original Beating Heart Bride.
Okay.
So we'll definitely, after we get done with the vacation planning DVDs, we may do like a
Yeah,
history
I'm
of the
sticking with your
rides.
favorite ride there. So, all right, Fantasyland.
Yes, over to Fantasyland. So it's where fairy tale dreams come true. There's a girl around my age that says when I was a kid I liked going there, which I was like, get out of here. You still like going there, stop it. Um a mom is really excited about It's a Small World
Yep.
and is with her son, and I saw it and I was just like, that's my mom.
Lots of character interaction too.
Right, yeah.
Like nowadays, you don't see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs together
No.
at all, unless it's at a parade setting or a special event.
Right.
And then all that from Fantasyland over to Tomorrowland,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's pretty interesting. Space Mountain, they still show the gondola cars
Yeah.
for a brief minute.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have the gondola ride there. And so it was neat seeing that. Space Mountain, of course, I know that's been updated a little bit, but basically the original. And so, yeah, everybody still wearing long sleeve shirts, collared shirts, and things like that, which I find always interesting with older videos. But yeah, so, and we get the comments about Space Mountain being the wildest, craziest, scariest, roller coaster from the one lady, right? And then, yeah, so then the video just keeps carrying on.
Yeah. You do get another sailing on Dream Flight sponsored by Delta Airlines.
Yep.
So the thing about Tomorrowland was, well, the thing about a lot of rides, and especially Disneyland, when you watch Disneyland's original opening, is a lot of the rides there were sponsored. They were sponsored by different companies. And so it wasn't just Dream Flight, it was Dream Flight sponsored by Delta Airlines.
Yep.
And
even today you see that with Test Track.
yeah,
Test Track brought to you by Chevrolet.
yep,
Right. So, I mean, even today it's still happening.
yep. Epcot still has it. But So it's interesting to see because now I think if you go to Magic Kingdom at Disneyland or Disney World, like you don't really see any of that. But you know, it's good to see our roots where we came from, you know.
Yeah. Corporate sponsorship.
Right. Corporate sponsorships, baby. That's what we got. They focus on the parades. There's a giant Roger Rabbit float. There's a
Yep.
giant float with Minnie with a fruit hat
Yep.
on her head.
Yep.
You get not only Robin Hood, but you've got like the uh palace guards from Robin Hood, like the
Yep.
elephants with the knight costumes on.
Yep.
Um, Spectral Magic being the electrical parade. They do talk about the Christmas parade for a second.
Right.
They don't focus on it, but they talk about it.
Yeah, not too much about the seasonal changes in this video.
Yeah.
So, but a brief glimpse of different things,
Hmm.
but definitely not a tie into, you get these parades at this time of the year versus that.
Right, right. And then they talk about the Fantasy in the Sky fireworks and their fireworks show, and that's your day at Magic Kingdom, you know?
Yep. All right. So then from Magic Kingdom, we go to
Disney Studios.
watching this part from the 1993 video. So this was Disney Studios, an actual studio. And you can talk about the specific things, but a lot of things that were shown in this video that Disney Studios was, and I'll bring it up at the end, was kind of like, this is the way I feel it still should be. A studio should be, but is practically all gone.
Yeah.
But I'll let you go.
Yeah, all of this, like the Hollywood studios that I know today, not here.
Right.
This is completely different. And honestly, even when I got to go when I was older, when I was like 8, I got to see a few of these things,
Right.
but a large majority of it was already gone.
Yep.
It's a park that's evolved so much and changed so much over the years. And I love Hollywood Studios, I do. But it would have been really cool to see it back then and still have some of those things there.
Especially the parts that made Disney Studios actual studio.
Right. They do still have animation studios behind the lot, but you just don't get to see them. But there are people who work in those buildings. You can see them for like a split second if you're riding Tower of Terror. You can see, behind the wall. And
But definitely not like what this video is showing. This
right.
video is basically showing you're in it. Now,
Yeah.
you may be having a glass wall between you and the actual studio things,
Right.
but seeing the animators, seeing the stages, we have stage shows, but you're in there, go to a show, and then you're out, right? You don't see behind it. You don't see, especially, I think the first time we went there to do the backlot tour, right? You saw some items, right? But you definitely didn't. I mean, this video, you're going through neighborhoods to see houses in some of these shows that were on TV. That's not there anymore. Again, it's right, but that's what a studio was. And so now that we're going to Hollywood Studios, and you're just kind of like, okay, well, it's pieces of it, but not, what makes it a Disney studio or things like that. And I think that's why they've also changed the name so many times, because when it was MGM Studios, you're thinking, okay, well, this is an MGM studio theme park. Well, it's not really a studio theme park. It's just Hollywood Studios. And so you get just artifacts from the overall studio concept, if that makes sense. I mean, they really narrowed it down.
Yes.
Definitely not as big as it used to be.
Right, right. It's not as focused as it used to be.
Correct.
Yeah. Um, so a lot of the things that are in the Disney studios and that they advertise are things that people have already been seeing in Universal Studios Hollywood,
Yep.
with their tram tour and their like disaster attractions and things like that. But Disney did have its own version of it. They show the celebrities that they brought in to put down their handprints in front of their replica of the Chinese theater. The Chinese theater, of course, back in 1993 had the Great Movie Ride inside of it, which never should have been taken away. That should have stayed forever.
Our opinion.
I'm still upset. Disney, please bring it back. I miss the Great Movie Ride so much.
Especially when you know they have the capacity to have just built another building, right?
Right.
It's kind of like, whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Where they built the Galactic Star Cruiser, they should have just
Yeah, there you go. Perfect example, right? Change it back from Galactic Star Cruiser back to the Great Movie, right?
yeah.
It's in the wrong location, but I can see a Star Wars link to Aliens.
Oh, absolutely. Come on. I mean, Sigourney Weaver is going to be in the new Star Wars film.
So there's your tie-in right there. You got it.
There, we're perfect. So Hollywood Boulevard has a bunch of characters running around, which you do not see anymore. After COVID, they never came back. There's the Indiana Jones stunt show Spectacular, which I still love.
That's a good studio show that has stood the test of time for what it is.
Yep, so good. There's a segue over to Muppet Vision 3D.
Yep.
Where they talk about that, which that will be leaving soon. I think it's closing at the end of the summer or in fall or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Then you go over to Star Tours with the working AT-AT. They talk about how they have ABC, CBS, NBC, and then they talk about I Love Lucy, The Golden Girls, and The Today Show all being filmed there. They have this thing where you get to like go into the set of I Love Lucy and like play as Ethel.
Right.
I Love Lucy, like they dress them up and direct them, and it's basically you're like a stand-in character for the filming of it, which I thought was so cool. And then they have a monster show where you get to do the sound effects for a horror film, which I was like, oh, what? Like that was.
Well, that's what I mean about, what the studios were. It was more immersive, right? Again, you get to see people actually doing sketches and coloring and painting, and now you're actually part of a TV show set, interactive, right? And so it gives you a chance to be a part of it. And then, doing, I guess they would be like understanding, saying, okay, hey, when we do a movie and we do sound effects, this is how we did them. Not like today in 2025, where it's basically done electronically, right? But back in the day, they had to use actual whatever items that they had that would help make those noises, right? And then put the people in there and basically, okay, this is how it was done. So we're going to have you have an immersive effect, and you're going to help us out do this thing, right? So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool. It's just like watching it, I'm like, this is not something that was around 15 years later. Like there was no participation in this. There was nothing like a horror show, especially at Disney. Like they just didn't have that at all. So definitely really cool for me to see because I had no idea that even existed.
Right.
They have the studio tour, backstage tour with where you get to basically you're on a tram and you're going through these, it's kind of like the People Mover, where they have like the glass and you get to see different like scenes behind the glass, except it's not a scene, it's an actual studio, and you're getting to look inside costuming departments and makeup areas. And there's, I think it's on the same tour that you go through the flooding canyon and the like different disaster areas where you get to see how disasters are filmed.
Right. Yep.
So I would have loved to go on that tour. That just looked so cool.
No, it's again, it's more of an immersive. This is how a studio works, operates, does things. Right, more immersive of a studio. Now, it's probably changed up to today because people want a theme park. If you want to go to a studio, go take the studio tour somewhere else. But you go to a network studio and say, pay for the tour. Or actually, I think Universal Studios in California still has probably the best, backlot studio tour. But
yeah,
and I think that's what Disney was trying to compete with as Disney Studios, and they had it right. They were doing a good job at it, but they, Universal Studios in California has kept it even as of today. Disney Studios, again with all the name changes, right, went basically to a less immersive, more theme parkish. Right, and the Hollywood Studios just means that okay, you've got pieces of the studio, but not we're not doing the immersive things anymore, so they went away from it.
right.
That's what I think.
Yeah, and like Universal, they still have a horror makeup show. They, Disney was doing sound design of a horror movie. They do the makeup of a horror movie, where you get to see how Universal does all of their prosthetics and different, like, how they put fake blood everywhere and different things like that. So Universal definitely has the monopoly on that sort of thing. And Disney just kind of backed off of it for, what the guests wanted, I guess. They then go into some things that I wish they still had. The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Adventureland. I did get to do that at one point. That was a really fun area to be in. And then they had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all.
They came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah, I want to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles now, today. Get out the costumes from the archives, please. I need to see them. Then they go into their dining, which they still have a lot of the dining locations that they mentioned. And then the Sorcery in the Sky fireworks show. So they did not have Phantasmic yet. Instead, they had a giant inflatable Mickey balloon that they put on the roof of the Chinese theater, and fireworks went out of the gloved hand of this inflatable Mickey balloon.
Yeah, so that is in reference to Mickey the Wizard, right, from Phantasmic, or not from Phantasmic.
Fantasia.
Fantasia, sorry. Right, in his blue hat, right, with his finger up. I guess even at Phantasmic, when he gets on top there at the end, he puts his hands up, and here come the fireworks out of his fingers, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what they used to have there.
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely insane to see a giant balloon on top of the Chinese theater.
Okay.
That's just something you're not going to see today. And it was great. It was wonderful. Over to Epcot,
Right.
we have Future World, where a man says it's better than science museums all over the world.
Yeah.
This was an Epcot that I wish that I got to experience. Sadly, just before my time. There were so many different pavilions with different things inside. They had, of course, they have Spaceship Earth, which is still the same. But then they had Communicore. They had the Living Seas without Nemo. They had the Land Pavilion, where Living with the Land had an actual speaker on the boat with you. And they had the Veggie Fruit Show. Universe of Energy with, I don't think Ellen was in there yet, but it was the Universe of Energy. Captain Neo with Michael Jackson. I would have loved to see that.
Yep.
Wonders of Life Pavilion, Body Wars, the Horizons Pavilion,
I missed that one.
and then the World of Motion.
Yep.
So I get to do the Living Seas now, but of course it has Nemo. The land has changed. They had Journey into Imagination.
Correct.
The original.
Which they're trying to kind of bring back. Right? They've been saying that it's probably going to go back to its original show set. So that would be pretty cool.
That'd be great.
Back to the original.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, everything that you just listed, I think now it's kind of like for us that we're able to experience those rides, those pavilions on what they were. Again, for the time, we didn't have CGI. We didn't have all of this that you get today that you can just put on a screen, right? So the effects that they had, the animatronics that they had, and were able to do, yeah, pretty awesome, right? But now we can just tell the stories.
Right. The Horizons Pavilion, the scenes from inside of it, of the different worlds that you could be living in, those scenes are now at the exit queue of Space Mountain in the Magic Kingdom. So when you see a lot of those like backdrops that are being used over there, they're straight from Horizons.
Yeah.
But now the Horizons Pavilion, I'm pretty sure, is just the show building area for, what's it called? The Space 220.
Rocket to Space or whatever it is.
Well, it's the Space 220 restaurant.
Oh, yeah, the space bar.
Yeah, yeah.
With the fake elevator up to space.
Right, the fake elevator. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's inside the Horizons Pavilion now.
Yeah, you kind of have to do a Google Maps layover, right, of the theme park, what it was in 1993 to what it is now.
Right.
So, yep.
And the Universe of Energy, that's now Guardians of the Galaxy.
Correct. Yep.
So a lot of things changed.
Yep.
Over there. Wonders of Life, again, being sponsored by MetLife. Just,
Yep.
you get a big show.
You saw it. Yep.
So the other part of Epcot is, of course, the World Showcase with the American Adventure, Germany, France, Japan, Italy, China, Morocco, Mexico, UK, Canada, and Norway. That has not changed. Those are still the same countries that we have. I guess it's only missing the Africa outpost in there.
Yep. And that's and again, that's where I believe they filmed the England's bar hub with a waitress being able to serve people sitting at little tables inside there. Back in 1993, had to be because of the park capacity, because nowadays it's a good, 8 people deep
Yeah.
from the bar to the door. So
if you try to go to that pub now, it's a fight. It's a fight. It's so busy in there now. And
right. So yeah, just to see it back then in 1993 was pretty amazing.
Crazy. And then they talk about the Illuminations fireworks show.
Yep.
Of course, that is now gone. But it was there for a long time.
Yep.
Illuminations was there for a while.
Why change something that was working?
Right. Bobbert chapstick.
Yeah. let's put the tacos in the water. Never mind. Let's take them out.
The tacos and the big onion ring in the middle of the, I swear,
Yep.
being
All
a
right,
Disney fan.
Move on.
Okay. It goes into recreation. They talk about Typhoon Lagoon. Dad, have you been to Typhoon Lagoon yet?
No.
Okay, I have. I recently got to go, recently being in the past like 3 years. There was snorkeling in the reef. That was not there the last time I went. Their wave pool that just freaking takes everyone out. That thing is a monster.
Yep.
The lazy river, which is still a thing. And then their steep slide, which is a thing as well. Those are their main highlights
Yep.
of Typhoon Lagoon. The reef area where you used to be able to snorkel with sharks and different tropical fish, that has been all filled in with sand, but the submarine is still there.
Yep.
So do you have any notes about Typhoon Lagoon, Dad?
No, hope to visit it someday.
Yeah, we'll get you in there someday.
Thanks.
They oh my gosh. The thing that I always forget about the Walt Disney World Resort is golf. They have so many golf courses, and they had such a focus on it in this video. And from our perspective, we go to Disney for the parks. I've never met a single person who has told me I go to Disney to golf.
Well, yeah, so now that I'm older, I understand, right? Again, because they offer Disney, so as Disney as a whole, right? This theme park was made to cater to everybody, young and old, in between, and hey, there's people that like to golf and they want to do that. Hey, the family can go to the park, or whoever wants to go to the park, or we're just going to come down there and experience the great golf courses at Disney, right? So I mean, there's all again, everybody's going to kind of take their Disney vacation the way they want to. Some are able to do a little bit more and include golf in that, where other people are like ants scurrying from point to point to point to point, because that's all they have the time to do. So yeah, it's again, they are offering the total package, where at other parks you're getting a theme park but not a way to relax, right? So so the video just continues to show, hey, it's just not about the theme parks. If you want to do a water park, you can do that. Some of the comments were, hey, we've been at this water park for 2 days in a row now, right? And we're still having fun. Yeah. So yeah, just kind of so it's catering to everybody's ideas and wants.
It did make me want to like try to book a day for us to do golfing.
Not there. Let's go to the mini golf course over there by the water park, and we'll do putt instead.
Yeah, we'll do putt. We're not professional golfers.
Yeah, we're not ready for that.
Yeah, no, but I think it would be fun to, explore what they're trying to sell us in 1993.
Correct. We can drive a mad golf cart around for a while.
Oh my gosh, can we? That would be great. We can make a sign.
Right.
We'll just drive around the golf cart.
Right.
Yes, I think that's a brilliant idea. So after golfing, we go to Pleasure Island, where it's a New Year celebration every night. This thing just looks hectic. It looks amazing. It looks like the 90s. It looks like a party in the 90s to me. Just absolute insanity. There's a night street festival every single night. There's nightclubs with dancing, comedy, singing. Honestly, it's a lot like what you see of City Walk now.
Right.
Universal City Walk. It is almost the same thing, except that Disney has to take it the step further with the Adventurers Club. Which has so much lore tied to the Jungle Cruise, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion. It has so many different stories and characters that are still talked about in the community of the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. We all still talk about it. And they talk about being brought into a library where spirits are coming out of boxes and magical things are happening around the room. It's, it's the 1990s equivalent of Trader Sam's at the Polynesian Resort,
Yep.
except even more crazy. So it's a place I wish I got to go to. Never did.
Yeah, neither here, because at that time it was starting the family, right? And so we were definitely not ready to go as a family until after that had come to pass. So
Right.
yep.
Yeah, by the time we went, it was just downtown Disney. Pleasure Island was
Correct.
not
Yep.
a thing.
Yep.
So then they go into the resorts. This is where you get what the resorts were in 1993. So you have the Grand Floridian, the Contemporary, the Polynesian, Yacht and Beach Club, which I was like, oh, that was around in the 90s.
Yep.
Okay. Disney's Village Resort with houses, villas, Vista homes, and tree houses.
Yep.
The Disney Inn, Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort Hotel, Port Orleans,
Yep.
and then they have Dixie Landings Resort, which Dixie Landings Resort has been tied to the Port Orleans. So the Port Orleans that they advertise nowadays is Port Orleans Riverside. And
Right.
the Dixie Landings Resort is Port Orleans French Quarter.
Yep.
So those two kind of merged at some point. They have the Fort Wilderness Resort where the narrator then starts talking in a country accent.
Right.
And then those are like your on-property hotels, and then like Disney on-property hotels. And then they have the Walt Disney World Swan or Dolphin, the Buena Vista Palace, Governor's Resort, Court Quarters, Suite Resort, Hilton Hotel, Hotel Royal Plaza, Howard Johnson Resort Hotel, and the Travel Lodge Hotel, which
Yeah.
all of those,
Yeah, and all of those are near what is now Disney Springs.
yes. And I believe are all still standing.
Correct. They just changed the names.
Yep. They just changed the names. I have never stayed at any of them.
I have done the Hilton and the Buena Palace.
Was I with you for either?
Yes, Buena Palace, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great. So I've stayed at one. I think for all the others, I mean, we've basically visited all of the other resorts except for Fort Wilderness.
Right.
But yeah, we've seen all the other ones.
Yep.
They then say that the Disney Vacation Club Resort is Key West, which we did stay at.
Yeah, we stayed. Yeah, what's now called Old Key West. Yep.
Yes. We
did a villa there. Yep.
we are not and have never been Disney Vacation Club members, but we were able to stay there.
Yep.
It was a really nice resort. Enjoyed it. So those are the hotels that you're working with right now. And then they talk about the making sure to plan the visit.
Right.
So
And
this
they
is,
get it- yeah, then they get into the highlights of doing this planning and the benefits of doing the planning, right?
Right.
They go into all the little things, and I thought one of them really, two of them stuck out. Proximity to the parks,
yep.
admission to the theme parks,
Mhm.
complimentary transportation. We do that all the time
Yep.
when we can. Access to all resort recreation. That used to be the case. Nowadays, room key card, more security, right? You can't bounce around resort to resort.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't. Can't do
Magical,
that.
yeah, magical amenities, special dining privileges. I guess we have special dining privileges now. You just have to make sure you book it in advance so you can actually get there. So
Yeah.
one of the things that I thought really stood out is, well, just before I hit that, special charge privileges, childcare. I know that at the deluxe resorts they have that. I'm not sure about the mid, definitely not at value. Pet care. I know that we now, right, they've got that animal care place where they can look after, of course, the golf resort, Disney quality 24 hours a day. I think 1993, we still have that now. Um, Disney's famous service. Okay, that's come and gone, but overall, Disney still provides the best overall service. And then rooms and all prices. So this is where, yeah, so it kind of depends which kind of resort you're in. They cater to everybody and everybody's situation, from value to mid-tier to deluxe, in between, bigger, better, smaller, lower, whichever you want, camping, right? But I did really like the tickets. And in 1993, right, they've got the one ticket package that somebody brought up, which was the 5-day super duper
Pass.
pass.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
the
what was
5-day
interesting
super
is,
duper pass.
but what they said was, once you get this ticket, you can use it anytime in your lifetime.
Yeah. I looked it up because I was like, is this for real? And it is. They used only like 3 days of it, and they were recommended to call Disney's ticketing center because of course they can't like use it now. But to basically get it converted into a 2-day multi-pass that they can use, or like a 2-day ticket,
Right,
probably with like park hopper or something, um, for them to get into the park. And
right.
I'm just like, are you serious? So you can buy a 5-day super duper pass in 1993, and you can
You use
spend
it
the next
now.
5 consecutive years using one day.
Yeah. Or have waited until today and used it today.
Right. Just
So yeah,
crazy.
lot of interesting, a lot of interesting things going on.
Yeah.
Uh, and then they start going into the, yeah, tickets. Then they kind of go to a screen that's kind of got a notebook, right? And say, okay, we're doing a Disney planning thing. So they
Right.
start
Well,
going, go
so
ahead.
before they go to that screen, they do talk to the guests about what they recommend,
Right.
right? So they say plan ahead, which like obviously, come at the off season in the fall. Uh,
Yeah,
if you know Disney now, there are no off seasons.
correct.
It is
There's never
always on
nothing.
season.
They filled all that up.
Yeah, there's no off season. Use travel packages. Use Disney transportation, which we already talked about. They mentioned comfortable shoes.
Yeah,
A big part of us planning our Disney vacation is mom would take us to get new shoes
yeah,
before we went because we needed new shoes. Stay as long as you can, that way you can get everything done. Get the 5-day super duper pass, and of course, fly on Delta because
All right. Before you get into that, the only other thing that stood out to me during that is in 1993, you could get from Orlando International Airport after flying Delta to the Magic Kingdom in only 20 minutes.
yeah, no.
Good luck. Thank you. Hello, I-4. Anyway,
Yeah,
uh, so yeah, a lot of different 1993. Yeah, again, an appreciation for it. Unfortunately, was not able to take advantage of it.
Right.
Would like to have, today I would like to have some of those 1993 days, park capacity days. Again, been able to take, the family, the kids through the Disney studios that it was, right? But yeah, 1993, awesome year.
Yeah. That's basically the end of the video. They, do a Delta Airlines plug, be prepared to not want to go home, and the beautiful Delta airplane flies into the sunset, and
Okay.
you realize that it's also flown right over the Magic Kingdom castle. So
Yeah,
that's your end of the video. Um, that, you know, prepares you to take your Disney trip in 1993. Do you want to go to Disney, Dad?
I think so. Because even again, right, it's different when you've never had access to it, right? And it's just such a far away destination that you can't really comprehend. And you're watching this on video going, oh my gosh, it's thing after thing, opportunity after, again, they're catering. This video will make sure that it hits something on your list that you're going to be able to that you're going to want to do compared to, everybody else. So, and that's what, yeah, having these videos out there, nobody else was doing it. Nobody else was plugging their place. And again, offering that much, and so, yeah, some of those people in the video, we've been here 20 times and that's people from, by 1993, they had already been there 20 times, right?
Right.
That's their place. That's the thing that they're doing because that's the place that they can go that offers everything. Now today there's access to a lot more out there, but still, yeah, still
I
today.
like I like the dad that says he's like, my kids ask me, can we go here? Can we go there? And I look at them and I'm like, why would we go there and we can come to Disney? Like
Yeah,
Disney has a beach. Disney
yeah,
has, all of these things and it
yeah,
it is it still is just like one of the top vacation destinations. Like it
yeah,
does have so much to offer,
correct.
in so many different ways that you can plan your time and
Yeah,
spend your time.
yeah, because
Um,
once you're there, whether you're flying in or driving in, right? It's kind of like, okay, once you are inside the magic bubble, what else is there, right? You don't
yeah,
have to worry about anything else because if you want it, you can go get it,
right.
right? I want to feel outdoors today. It's there. I want to feel back in the Victorian time. I'm there. I want to go to the future. It's there, right? So
Yep.
yeah, just awesome.
All right. Do you have any final notes about the
Yeah, I'm now excited. Let's get this thing going. Let's go.
Woo, wonderful. Okay, so the next video that we will be doing, it'll be the 1994
Yep.
vacation planning, which it looks to be a bit shorter, so I guess we'll see what they'll do with it. And
Yep.
we will cover that. So, thank you for listening to episode 1 of Mad About Disney.
Awesome.
We still don't have an outro, but
You're just mad.
I'm just mad. We're all mad here. Okay. So we will talk to you next time.
Thanks,
I
girl.
love you.
Oh, thanks, Skipper Melody. Appreciate it. You're awesome.
You're welcome, Skipper Dad.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Mad About Disney is an independent podcast. Music is done by Aaron Jacob. Artwork is done by Josh Lakaitis. Editing is done by Skipper Melody. Links can be found in the description, and the show is hosted by Skipper Melody and Skipper Dad. Yes, I'm good and I'm feeling alright. Baby, I'm at the best freaking out of my life. Oh.